What's up, guys? I grew up dirt poor, so poor that we did not have any kind of game system in our house. Now, when I was 5, I think Pong came out, where the two sticks that go up and down, the ball kind of bounces back and forth. So somebody gave us that old, terrible game. But other than that, we didn't have anything because we were just broke. We were just poor kids. My neighbor, who wasn't a lot wealthier than we were, or I guess, is that, how do you say that? He's not wealthy. I guess he would be wealthier, but we're talking about two poor kids here. Sorry, that's just kind of confusing to me. So anyway, so my neighbor, his parents had a little more money, and he ended up getting an Atari system, but not when it came out, but years later. So as he's got this Atari system, he got Pacman, and man, what an exciting game. And I think we were between 10 and 12 years old. He was probably 12. I was more like 10 years old. And he came over and invited me to come play at his house. Now, as I think about it today, I think probably his mom sent him to come get me because I don't ever, maybe at times we really want to share things with people, but he came all the way to my house to get me to come play with him. And I was like, absolutely, I want to play. And I'll tell you why I don't think he was really coming to get me of his own accord here in just a second. So as we go to his house to play, he gets on there. He's like, here's what it is. And he starts playing Pac-Man. And I'm like, wow, that is so neat. I don't remember if I'd seen it before. Probably saw it in the stores where it wasn't really available to me because there was adults playing it probably at Kmart or whatnot. And they would have the quarters in, or we never had quarters to play, etc. So I probably knew what the game was, but this is the first time we had access to it. And so he played a game, and then he let me play, because we're taking turns. And so I play, and it was amazing. I found out I'm a lover of digital games probably at that point in my life, and I craved this game. And I played, and of course, the disappointment when you lose to Pac-Man. So you or lose to the ghost on Pac-Man, and so I died. And so then it was his turn. And he played, and when he lost his first man, I was, I got a little excited, and he lost his second man, I got a little more excited. He lost his third man, and I'm kind of reaching for the controller, and he's not really handing me the controller, and he keeps playing. And I was like, okay, so maybe he gets, it's his game, so he probably gets to play twice, and maybe I get once, and he played some more, and then this is why I was telling you, I don't think it was his idea. I think it was his mom's idea to invite me. But in his mind, he basically had invited me to let me play once, and then I could spend the rest of the day watching him play. And I sat there for a long time. Now, maybe I played more than one game. My memory is not that clear on that. But what I do remember is us not sharing and me really craving to play Pac-Man. What a stupid craving. But I really craved to play Pac-Man, and I wasn't getting to because of this bratty kid. He's just selfish. And I sat there as long as I could take it. Probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half. Again, video games are a waste of time. But that's what I did as a kid. And I was sitting there, and I just couldn't take it any longer. To see him just having the time of his life sitting there playing, and I'm wanting to play and craving to play, and I had played and I had a taste of it, but I couldn't play, and his mom wasn't there to balance out the odds, and so I left there very hurt. Now that's not the biggest deal in the world, right? But he was my friend, and I wanted, and I just had this craving to play Pac-Man as well, and now my friend is basically hogging everything and never letting me play. So fast forward, years later, after I had my first kid, I had our first kid roughly when I was about the age of 26, and then the kid was probably about 10 at the time himself. So we're talking about, I was probably close to 36 years old, many years after this incident. And we just happened to be walking through the flea market, and there was this game system there for sale that claimed it had 64,000 games on it. Now that still today, my mind reels. I'm like, who copied all these games and put them all together, and what kind of database were they on? And I'm going to tell you, this game system had 64,000 games on it, but it was this, like maybe this black market Chinese type game system. I don't know. It was just at the flea market, secondhand. And I'm like, well, yeah, I'll play this. I'll buy this for the kids. And I saw that it had a lot of the old games on it. And as we got to fiddling around when we got home, it had Pacman on there. Pacman. And all of a sudden I remembered this craving in my heart from about, 16 years previous. No, 26 years. However, whatever, 36 minus 10, 26 years previous, where I had wanted to play this game and was not allowed to. And the friend who I thought was a good friend was kind of shoving me out and not letting me play. And even if I would have been playing, he would have wanted to play the whole time. And there might have been arguments and fighting, and we weren't sharing, and it really wasn't that fun. And I left there hurt. But here, years and years and years and years later, I'm getting to play with my son, whom I love very much, whom I have taught to share, whom I have taught self-control, whom we have limited game time where it's in balance in our life and not dominating our life. And I got to sit there with my beloved son and play this game and enjoy it 100 times more than I could have at the age of 10. The reason I share this story with you is that God knows the desires of your heart. He knows the deepest and silliest longings of your heart. And if you will just surrender everything to Him and give Him time to work, He will fill you up in ways that you can't fathom. Don't sell Him short. When He says He won't forget you, believe Him.